So I also get the honor and the pleasure of introducing a man who I know does not need an introduction because we all know him, because he is fearless, a voice in our community of color, a voice that gives us a conscience, a voice that is not hesitant to tell us when we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we welcome that. And someone who is leaving an amazing legacy. So it's very fitting that you're here today, because art is history, related to history. And you talk a lot about our history as people of color, our struggles, the need for change, and Jesse's art reflects all of that. So I have the honor to introduce Mr. Carl Snowden, who's the former Civil Rights Director for the Maryland Office of the Attorney General, is also a former 3-term member of the Annapolis City Council, an author, radio and television host, and currently serves as the convener for the Caucus of African American Leaders. And which is basically a consortium of organizations including the United Black Clergy, the NAACP, the National Black Coalition of 100 Women and Activists, and Black elected officials, myself included. So it is really a true honor, Carl, to introduce you today. Welcome.
Let me just take a moment to ask you to give Joseline a round of applause. What a great job she's doing. I wanted to acknowledge Will Rao, who's representing the mayor of Annapolis. Vincent Molden, who's with the county executive's office. My good friend, Dr. Joseline Pena Melnyk, who's representing, presumably, our registered wills. A special thank you to Juanita Cage Lewis, who introduced me to Jesse. And I just want to take a moment to share something. Judge Gibson, I didn't see you in the audience, I see you now. Our Chief Judge, Judge Vicki Gibson. There are two things I want to sort of thank Jesse for, and artists like Jesse. I saw it today. I'm one who pays attention to people. I just watch things. Joseline couldn't see the expression on her face when you opened that portrait of her. What a beauty. She was stunned. I was with Jesse when he presented this portrait to Governor Westmore when he had done. And just like Joseline, the expression that came on his face. It's, you know you got it right when they smile as broadly as they do. I know the power of art. I have a son, both of my sons are artists. Kojo is an artist that deals with music. My other son deals with no problem.
Thank you.
But I want to show you the power, if you will, of art. Two different generations in this room. I want to show you what the power of art can do. Just a picture, a photograph, just for a moment. Those of you who are old enough to remember, this happened to be 60 years ago. Emmett Till in that coffin. That photograph captured the world. Just that moment in history, that photograph, it changed the course of history. For younger people in the audience who may not get it, may not have lived during that period of time, you just recently had an experience where, again, a piece of artwork fundamentally changed America. Just 3 years ago, May 20th, 2020, there was this photograph of George Floyd, 9 minutes and 46 seconds. The entire world saw that photograph. Young people, it did something to them. Young people organized, mobilized, and energized. There were demonstrations all over the nation because that photograph represented something that those young people could connect with. Jesse is one of those artists that when you know world history, you know the power of art and what art has done. I end with this story. I've been fortunate to do a lot of traveling in my life, and there is a Portuguese slogan that I often use when signing a piece of literature or letter. In these large letters, a luta continua. Those photographs were taken, and it inspired a whole generation of people who decided, and that's why I love your artwork. Your exhibit is called "To Where All Are Free." It's a take from Fannie Lou Hammond, who said, "Nobody's free till everybody's free." These are the times we're living in. I always end my remarks the same way in the community group. Where you are, please stand just for a moment. Just wherever you are, please just stand. Some of you, this will be new to. If you so kindly just reach out and touch one of your neighbors by their hand. Just touch a neighbor. And what I have argued over and over again, and I'll say it again, on this day, there were two things that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to tell the nation. He said, whenever we join hands, we make America better. And historically, we can see it. We can see America being better. Whenever we join hands, women got the right to vote because people joined hands. Nelson Mandela walked out of a prison into the presidency because people joined hands. Barack Obama got elected president because people joined hands. But then he said something else to us. It's the one message that we've yet to understand as a nation. Dr. King said, we've got to learn to love one another. We've got to learn to be able to love each other. So wherever you are, look at your neighbor directly at his or her eyes. The eyes of the soul. It's the window to the soul. When you look in people's eyes, you see who they are. And just simply say to the person who you're looking in the eyes, I love you. Now, Brother Jesse, I was 14 years old one time, and the girl looked at me and said, I love you, and the next day she was somebody else. So I can really tell when people mean it, and so can you. When somebody tells you you love them, you should feel something, that little tingling feel. One more time, look your neighbor in the eye, straight in the eye, and just say, I love you. Thank you so very much. A luta continua. God bless.
Thank you, Carl.